Excuse me. What in the world are you thinking?
Mean Gene, the first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say.
I got some bad breath, man, but I had to wake up to see SmackDown. I had to wake up and watch SmackDown because it's the draft, folks. Night one. Welcome to the New World Podcast, brother. And you may have seen some changes to the channel, to where you subscribe to. It was a big thing I've been wrestling back and forth with, no pun intended. I have been so focused on pro wrestling itself to where I, guaranteed 7 podcasts a week, maybe more if there's pay-per-views or anything like that, and my focus has been so much on pro wrestling and covering these shows and making sure that I bring you the best podcast I can do. And I just realized to myself, and make it fair to the audience and make it fair to everyone that's just subscribed to C Plus Studios, because of the other stuff we've had, with other stuff we've done to the Sexy Ninja Cast, the Social Vent, C Plus TV, my music, Pop Flicks, everything we've done under the banner of C Plus Studios is going to remain intact. It's going to be archived. You can go check it out. I'm a little nervous. I'm sorry. Because this was a big decision. The archives are going to stay there. Everything's going to be there. And if you want to go check out those awesome projects we've done, me and Big Daddy, me and Doug, me and some other people that was riding with us at the time under that C Plus banner, it was C Plus Studios was the place of entertainment of all spectacles. We covered anything and everything, covered your mama, we covered your couch. But, after, Big Daddy went out to go do his thing, I'm over here, I'm like trying to figure out what am I doing? And, the New World Podcast is something of my comfort because I love doing it. It's become a staple in my routine of the mornings. I've said this over and over again, to where a show happens, the next morning, bam, I get up, I watch the show, and I was so excited about SmackDown and the draft here for April 28th, 2023. They're in Corpus Christi, Texas. Michael Colwade Barrett on commentary. And before I break down the show with the draft and everything like that, I just want to thank everybody that was rolling with us. But now, going forward from this moment on, the channel is now the New World Podcast, brother, where I will be covering all these shows that I've been covering pretty much 6 days a week, 7 podcasts, unless there's more. Going forward, this is what's going to be the channel, is the New World Podcast. And if you're subscribed to the C Plus Studios feed, it is now the New World Podcast feed. And like I said, I ain't taking anything off. All the C Plus goodies are still going to be there. So you can go check it out, the playlist, all of it. And I want to thank everybody. And if I'm going to lose subscribers who subscribe to us for the other stuff, like the Sexy Ninja Cast and all that, I'm sorry. Or unless you're rocking with us still, rocking with me still, you can, I changed all our handles. It's a New World Podcast official. I'm working really hard now in that Pro Wrestling Tees store for New World Podcast merch. You can actually follow me now on Twitter, and I'm going to be more Twitter happy than anything now. Is I'm going to, it's at KMB the Sexy Ninja. So, rock, so and if you're new to the New World Podcast, this is my love, my passion, everything I put into my love of pro wrestling. I was a professional wrestler for at least 5 years. I was the champ. I stopped because of family reasons. My name's KMB, the Sexy Ninja, and I love pro wrestling. And I love to be a bitch and a critic about it. But I love to be fair as well and also enjoy the show. So now we got that out of the way. Like I said, nothing but love and respect for me. KMB, the Sexy Ninja. Now let's get into draft. Into the WWE Draft Night 1, baby. Let's do it. Okay? We're here, Friday Night SmackDown. We start the show off with the first round, 4 picks with Triple H. SmackDown got Paul Heyman, Solo, and Roman Reigns, the Bloodline, as they were tagged. I was like, ooh, that's interesting, because there was a thread without this show building to the main event, the big main event of this night for the Undisputed Tag Team Championships. And the fact that Paul, Solo, and Roman were drafted to SmackDown, that means the Undisputed Universal Championship will stay on SmackDown. So the World Heavyweight Champion will be crowned at the Night of Champions pay-per-view May 27th in Saudi Arabia. And it's going to be on Raw. So Raw will have a champ. SmackDown will have a champ. But I'm very interested in this. I'm like, are they just going to finally combine the 2 titles into one? Give us a new, fresh look for Roman on that championship. When will we see Roman again? Because Roman has been out of the picture, for a bit. And he doesn't need to be in the picture because the story here is within Paul, Solo, and the Usos. So that's that. And the fact that Paul, Solo, and Roman got drafted as the Bloodline with no Usos, and Usos not being eligible for the draft until Monday, night 2, is very interesting. Very, very interesting. And, as no surprise, Raw number 1 draft pick is Cody Rhodes. I feel like Fox is like, yo, we want Roman. Roman brings the numbers. Roman. So they're going to have Roman Reigns. And Raw, with the USA Network, they're like, hey, we need the face. We need somebody that's big and huge. And who isn't bigger than Cody Rhodes? Yes, we have Seth freaking Rollins, but Seth could go over to SmackDown. We can finally have Seth and Roman, face each other. And what does this mean for Cody? If Cody's here on Raw, does that mean that World Heavyweight Championships in his future? And I've heard some things, people saying like, oh, it's just a consolation prize. If Cody wins this championship, it's going to be like, yeah, you didn't get the big one at WrestleMania, but you got this one. No. This is the World Heavyweight Championship. This has history to it. The big gold belt, that's why I'm getting a little pissed off with people when they're like, oh, the World Heavyweight Champion, blah, 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 it's just like, hold your horses here. The World Heavyweight Championship has a prestigious history to it. So if Cody Rhodes does win at Night of Champions, the championship, I will look at him as a champion, not somebody that's getting a consolation prize or something like that. Fuck that. But I did want Cody to defeat Roman at some point, but with the draft itself, now they're separated. Will they meet back at each other at, maybe a Survivor Series? Champ versus champ. Roman's coming in on that 1,000 days. Is Roman going to even make it to Survivor Series after that 1,000 days, Because there's so much going on here with this draft. And what's funny is like, I'm one that was going into this draft like, they're going to do their picks. It's not really going to matter after a few months. But I feel with Triple H still at the head of creativity, the creative side, there's points to this now, and with the fact that Cody's over here and Roman's over here, we shall see. And SmackDown, the third pick in this of this draft for SmackDown, second pick in SmackDown's picks, Bianca Belair, the current Raw Women's Champion, is going to SmackDown. Holy shit. What new dynamics are going to happen there? Who is she going to face? And then on Raw's side, for their second pick, Becky Lynch will stay on Raw. So, what does this mean for Rhea? Because Rhea is the current women's SmackDown champion, so that just means she's going to be drafted to Raw with her championship, and they're going to swap titles. And Triple H said the draft picks really don't go into effect until after Backlash. So here we go. The universe is being shaken up. We'll have the big pay-per-view, and everything resets after Backlash, and everyone will go to their brands. So after Triple H announced these 4 picks, he introduced the Usos. They came out about to cut a promo. Here comes Kevin Owens and Sami to interrupt. But the Usos said something. They're like, we're going to dedicate this to Roman if we win. But they go, well, we haven't heard from him. No calls, no smoke signals, no nothing from Roman. Building more on that storyline there. And Kevin Owens and Sami mostly adding fire to that, because he's like, hey, you guys are dedicating this whole thing to Roman. He hasn't called you. He hasn't done this. So everything I've been saying has been right. And, of course, Kevin is playing that I'm tired of talking. Let's fight. Setting up and, boom, they're looking at each other. That's our main event. So crazy first round in the draft. First match of the night, we have the Brawling Brutes, Butch with Sheamus versus L.A. Knight. L.A. Knight for the win, but I gotta say, that crowd was really into L.A. Knight. And they should be. I would love L.A. Knight to go to Raw. Just because I feel like there's more opportunity there in that idea with LA Knight. I feel like he's made a statement on SmackDown, but I think he can make a bigger statement on Monday nights on Raw, and having that star power and that crowd, man. If you watch this match was good too. This was a great match. Butch being crazy. LA Knight, he is a star. And that crowd told me that tonight, and they were cheering. And it could be a possible maybe babyface if Triple H was hearing that correctly when that crowd was popping for LA Knight. But good match here. Good way to start the night with the first round, then the Usos, and this match right here. We got the Bloodline backstage, but as Paul's talking to them, he's really talking to Solo. He's just like, yeah, we got this, Us, we got this. We got to get the tag team championship back for the Bloodline. And Paul's talking like, yes, you want to stay on the island of relevancy. You want to stay over here. You don't want to go into the ocean of the unknown, without the Bloodline. But honestly, it's going to happen tonight, and that's when he's looking at Solo, and I'm just like, fuck, what's going to happen? What's going to happen there? What's the orders of the tribal chief to Solo? Is he going to take out the Usos? The tension was building, and I'm sitting there with my headphones on, the popcorn's popping. I didn't have no popcorn, but I'm sitting there, and I'm like, man, I wish I had some popcorn, because I could be like, ooh, what does that mean? Now we're coming up on the second round. Another 4 picks. We have RVD and Michael P.S. Hayes letting us know the picks for SmackDown and Raw. And the next pick here for SmackDown is the Street Profits. They are going to SmackDown. I found that kind of funny because Bianca Belair, Montez Ford, they're married, and now they're both going to be on the same brand again. So, but the Street Profits, though, a lot could happen there. A lot could happen. And also, I was thinking about this with this tag team division and everything, being this way and that way, because on Raw now, their next pick for Raw, they got Imperium. So the Intercontinental Champion is going to Raw. Does that mean Austin Theory is going to be drafted to SmackDown with the United States Championship? Then SmackDown got a huge pick here. Edge is coming back to SmackDown, and he was in that class of wrestlers where when SmackDown was taken to new heights with Paul at creative, he was part of that team that made SmackDown the better show at points than Raw. They were the young bucks, if you will, in that era with Edge and Christian and everybody like that, where they were like, you know what, we're gonna go balls to the wall and we don't care what happens. We're gonna bring everything we can so people will talk about SmackDown and we will be better than Raw in all those ways. Such glorious times. We should revisit that era. All right, Monday Night Raw got Matt Riddle, bro. My daughter was mad. And it was funny. It's like when they announced Riddle, she was like, "Come on!" I was like, "You don't even watch." Well, sometimes you watch, but you don't even watch. She's like, "I know, but they could do better." I was like, "Damn!" Big triple threat match here. We got the Street Profits versus Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus the LWO. Fun tag team match, man. And Street Profits already wearing blue, already rocking the blue, so I'm guessing they already knew they were going to be on SmackDown. But they did a quick promo and just letting them know, now that they're on SmackDown, we want the smoke, and I just remembered. What I was trying to get on earlier was about the tag team titles. So now that Sammy and Kevin, are the undisputed tag team champions, does that mean they're just going to face the tag teams of Raw and SmackDown? Will they go back and forth? Or we're going to split those titles again, and have our own SmackDown tag team champions and our own Raw champions? Because now we already have a world heavyweight champion. We'll have a undisputed universal champion. So that's just more fuel to the fire of what we're going to do with this tag team division. But this was a fucking awesome match, man. Great spots, and these guys look like they were just having a lot of fun. But the Street Profits for the win, and that's just a statement of what's to come. We had a Bad Bunny and Damian Priest package. They're going to have a San Juan street fight at Backlash here, May 5th. So that's going to be awesome, man. I was like, oh man, it's going to be LWO versus Judgment Day, blah, blah. But this is pretty much has become, especially in Puerto Rico, this is Damian Priest's WrestleMania moment. This is Damian Priest's, because he was off the card for WrestleMania. Everyone was mentioning that. But the fact that he's going to face Bad Bunny in Puerto Rico, it's huge. It's freaking phenomenal for Damian Priest, man. And to get this shine, especially with this guy being the biggest star in the world, awesome. And Bad Bunny will be on SmackDown next week. I believe they're going to be in San Juan. So it's going to be awesome. This is going to be awesome, man. It's going to be awesome. We have JBL and Teddy Long for the third round, 4 picks. This was a big one for me. This one I was like, huh. Now that I think about it, if Austin Theory goes to SmackDown, I don't want these two to continue their feud on SmackDown. But we have Bobby Lashley going to the blue brand. Bobby Lashley going to the blue brand. So that's pretty. That was a big one for me. I was like, whoa. But another big one was Raw got Drew McIntyre. So what's next for Drew? We haven't seen him in a bit. A lot of rumors were saying his contract was ending up. He could be leaving, this and that. I just got his autobiography that I'm going to be listening to here soon. Yeah, so I can't wait to hear his autobiography, and I believe it's read by him. So it's going to be awesome. SmackDown, the OC is now on SmackDown. Not only is the OC Michin and the Good Brothers, but AJ Styles is back. Oh my good. And what's funny is me and my wife were just talking about him the other day. Because we were watching, I forgot what we were watching, but there was a scene where they're on a soccer field. and she was, hey, where's AJ Styles? I was like, that's random. She goes, I don't know. I see long hair. He has that soccer mom hair. I was like, what? I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, yeah, he broke his ankle a while back. So I don't know how long he's going to be out, but this was like a couple days ago. And I'm like, oh, AJ Styles is here with the OC, and they make a big statement later on in the show. And the next Raw pick is The Miz. Surprise. Not really. He's got a show on the USA Network. I don't think they want to move him off the USA Network and put him on Fox because he still has his Miz and Mrs. show there, his reality show. So that wasn't a surprise, but it was kind of, oh, okay, The Miz is on Raw. Right here, next really, really fun match here. Zelina Vega representing the LWO, baby. She's going to face Rhea Ripley at Backlash for that SmackDown's Women's Championship, or possibly soon Raw Women's Championship. But Zelina Vega for the win. Sonya Deville's with Chelsea Green. Another L for these two, but Zelina Vega, I think, really needed this win just so she can look strong going into Backlash. But Rhea Ripley attacked. But the best part about this is the mommy chants that started. The mommy chants, Rhea Ripley is mommy. She is mommy. But Zelina got Rhea. But bam! I was like, oh, then Rhea's like, oh shit, what just happened? So that was a cool moment, especially for Zelina Vega, who's been working so hard, and she's getting a championship. She's going to have her family there in Puerto Rico watching this big pay-per-view here in a couple, and next weekend and stuff like that. So it was a good moment for Zelina and a good moment for Rhea to be like, oh, shit, what just happened? Kevin Owens and Sami backstage as they're preparing for their match, and then Zelina and Escobar and Ray backstage. They're congratulating her and stuff like that for the LWO. Ray saying, "I am an underdog. I've been an underdog, but I've always fought with my mind, fought with my heart, and kept fighting all the way to the Hall of Fame. So Zelina, you need to do the same thing as well, and you could possibly be the next SmackDown Women's Champion." So now the OC come out. AJ Styles is back, ladies and gentlemen. He is back. They cut a promo, and I got to tell you, this put a smile on my face because the Viking Raiders came out to interrupt, and I love what AJ does here. He's like, you guys are really smart. There's 4 of us, and there's 3 of you, so you guys are really smart. But hold on. He goes into the corner. He sits up on top of the turnbuckle, and he says, OC, handle business. And they get into a brawl, and after they take out the Viking Raiders and throw them out, which I was kind of like, once again, with the Viking Raiders, we're just kind of throwing them under the bus, especially with this big time with the OC. But there's a big match next week with the OC and Viking Raiders. But once again, throwing them under the bus. But what I liked right here was AJ Styles picked up the mic. He says, "SmackDown, you haven't seen anything yet," and throws the mic. And I'm like, whoa. It was a great introduction to the OC, a reintroduction of the OC, and showing their strength and power and taking out the Viking Raiders. So, and they're going Michin. I was happy because I was like, is it Mia Yim? Is it Michin? Like, pick one. Like, even Big Daddy, I was talking to him the other day. I was like, that shit drives me nuts. I'm like, is she Mia Yim or is she Michin? But they introduced her as Michin, and I was like, okay, cool. Let's just keep it that way, and let's have the commentators just keep calling her Michin because it was getting kind of frustrating. Well, for me, I have problems, folks. But before I get into the next 4th and final round of the draft, another 4 picks, I want to talk about this because I have this note. So they just dropped the Twisted Metal trailer. That big video game back in the day, that was on, that I remember, like, I didn't even play that video game, but I remember it was so huge, and, the violence in it. It's a big car game and stuff like that. And I'm not, like I said, I know of the Clown. I know of Twisted Metal. And the Falcon is this show. Oh, sorry, not the Falcon. He's not the Falcon anymore. Captain America's in this show. So, but more than that, I'm not talking about the Captain America being in it, Anthony Mackie. I'm not talking about all them. I'm talking about a real Hollywood star here. Because the person playing the Clown, from what I read, is Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe's going to be in this show on Peacock. I think it's on Peacock, right? Twisted Metal? I got to check my resources. I think it is on Peacock. Twisted Metal. Samoa Joe's going to be the Clown. From what I was reading, and I was like, oh, Samoa Joe, baby. Joe's gonna kill you. Joe's gonna kill you. And if he's on Peacock, WWE's there too. So, hey. All right, fine. I'll get back into the draft picks here. The fourth and final round, the last 4 picks. Here we go, baby. It's Shawn Michaels, Road Dogg, DX, Suck It! SmackDown. They got Damage Control, and the best part about this was Michael Cole saying, oh, no. Wade Barrett's like, Bayley fucking hates you. Oh, I bet that got some good pops in the back with everybody, all the superstars, because that Michael Cole's like, oh, no. It's incredible, man. So Damage Control to SmackDown. I thought we were going to eventually split these ladies up, but I guess we're not. So let's have them cause some damage on SmackDown. And then Raw got... I got to do it right. Okay? I've been doing it for the past couple weeks. They got Shinsuke Nakamura. Yes, Shinsuke is on the red brand. He about to have a backstage interview, but he got interrupted by somebody. We'll get to that in a bit. And then these last 2 picks, for SmackDown, for Raw, huge because they dug into the NXT pool. They dipped their toes in the pool and got some ladles and brought some talent up to the main roster. And not only did they bring some NXT talent to the main roster, but they brought champions. And so does that mean those championships will be what will happen with the NXT Championship? Shawn Michaels says, I'm not happy about this, but Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, the NXT Tag Team Champs, current NXT Tag Team Champs, are going to SmackDown. Fuck yeah. Some new blood to the women's tag team division. That more people to face. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, and Fire and Dawn are 2 ruthless athletes, and they're going to bring a lot to the SmackDown roster. And I know Shawn Michaels wasn't happy because Road Dogg goes, and you ain't going to be happy about this. Are you going to lose your smile twice? Wink, wink, shove, shove. But Indy Hartwell, the current NXT Women's Champion, is coming to the Raw roster. Holy shit. And I know, I got so many, I got some feedback on my NXT Spring Breakin' where she defended that title. I really shat on that show. I really did, because I was just like, And she did get hurt in that main event a little bit, and, kind of was out of the match, but you can go listen to it. Go check out my Spring Breakin' 2023 review for NXT. I've been really hard on NXT, and I'm okay with Indy Hartwell going to Raw. It's been long enough. Let's bring her up to the red brand. Let's bring her up to the main roster. Indy Hartwell is a superstar for the main roster. What will happen to that NXT Women's Championship, though? I know she ain't taking it. You remember when Solo, did he beat Carmelo Hayes? If I remember right, he beat Carmelo Hayes. Was it Carmelo? Yeah, he beat Carmelo Hayes for the NXT North American Championship, and then he showed up on because he was moved up to the main roster on with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline and all this and that. but he couldn't take the championship with him, because Sean, they stripped him back of that title, said, no, that's an NXT championship. You can't take it with you to the main roster. So most definitely these talents here are going to lose the NXT Tag Team Championships and the Women's Tag Team Championships. So that makes me really interested in what's going to happen on NXT next week. The fallout from Spring Break-In, also the fallout of the draft itself. And the shift in dynamics here of Battleground, and will Indy Hartwell lose that NXT Women's Championship at Battleground? Because I don't want her to lose it on just Tuesdays. I think if she's going to go out, Battleground is where it's at. So, along with the Tag Team Champions too. And I believe they're putting those Tag Team Championships on the line this Tuesday on NXT. So, we shall see. They have a Dawn and Fire interview talking about them going to the main roster, and then that's where they got challenged. Shinsuke Nakamura was about to cut an interview, but he got attacked by Karrion Kross because tick, tock with Scarlett. But they're going to face each other next week. And I was like, man, that's more of a pay-per-view match than anything. Shinsuke Nakamura and Karrion Kross, but I get it. I get it. No, Karrion Kross, Shinsuke Nakamura, good for TV, good for numbers. So let's have that match on Fox next week. And it being the go-home show for Backlash. So that's going to be, I'm hoping that's going to be a really good match. We go to the Bloodline backstage. Oh, yeah, well, Braun's going to do some, I don't know what a pace car is. So, but he's going to be driving a pace car for NASCAR here soon. Is the pace car the guy that's driving slower than everybody, like leading everybody into the charge of NASCAR? I don't know. You can tell me below in the comments, like, what a pace car is of NASCAR, because I don't follow NASCAR. So, but Braun Strowman's going to be part of that. And now, the Bloodline's backstage. We're heading into the main event for the Undisputed Tag Team Championships. But the Bloodline's backstage, and the Usos are like, all right, let's go. Trying to get Solo and Heyman. And Heyman's all, no. The Tribal Chief wants you guys to shine. Go. And what's going to happen, what needs to be handled tonight, he looks at Solo, is going to be handled tonight. Right? So more of like, oh shit, the Puppet Master's at work, man. And I wonder if there's going to be some reveal that Paul hasn't been talking to the Tribal Chief in that sort of way. Yeah. Puppet Master Heyman. But we get into it right now, right here. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, the champs versus the Usos, and a hell of a main event here. Oh my gosh, I can't count how many times Kevin was super kicked. So many times I thought this man's head was gonna pop off. I thought Kevin Owens' head was gonna go because he was super kicked so much. Sammy really on the outside, good part of the match until he finally got the tag. It kind of felt like what happened with Roosh on Ring of Honor. Like, Roosh was not really in the match at all until the end, and Roosh came in. You could check out the Ring of Honor review I did, but yeah, this is how this felt. This finish here was like Kevin Owens got his ass kicked for most of the match, and he finally got a stunner on Jimmy because Jay was pulled to the outside by Sammy, and after he got the stunner, he tags in Sammy, haluva kick in the corner. 1, 2, 3. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn are still champions, and during this, Solo was coming out, but he was attacked by Matt Riddle, so what he was supposed to do tonight did not happen. It did not happen at all. So, because Riddle intervened, and now we're going to see if it happens on SmackDown, and I feel deep down in my heart and soul, the Usos will be drafted to Raw, and it's going to be a moment of Solo attacking the Usos to officially kick them out of the bloodline. So, or on SmackDown next week, we shall see. Big things are coming, but the disappointment in the Usos' faces because they dedicated this match to Roman, and now they done fucked up. Because now they lost, and we still have our champs. Hell of a show, guys. What a show. I like the fact that, with the tease of Solo, because I was like, oh my God, it's going to happen. He's going to take out the Usos. But no, just that sweet moment of like, oh shit, and then like, oh, Matt Riddle, for the save. But we're gonna see what happens. This story is developing, and it's kind of crazy that we've been on this ride with the Bloodline from the start all the way coming up to the finish here. And I'm feeling deep down that Solo, Paul, and Roman are gonna be the Bloodline, and that's it. That's all. There you go. 5 out of 5, man. This was a good draft night. Night 1. Can't wait until draft night 2. On Monday Night Raw, they're going to be in Fort Worth, Texas, and then they're on to Puerto Rico for Backlash. And Bianca Belair, she did talk, but she's overseas right now. I guess they have a show in France, from what I was reading. But she was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be the EST on SmackDown." So, tell me what you thought of the show. Drop those comments below, and I'm very excited for this next step in my journey as a podcaster, as somebody who reports on these shows, and as somebody who reviews these shows, give my reactions to things. And I can't wait to continue this journey with going forward. Subscribe to the New World Podcast. If you're already rocking with C+, if you subscribe to C+ Studios, you're good. You're staying with us on the New World Podcast on feeds, YouTube, Twitch. I'm making some other changes, cleaning up some things today for logos and stuff like that. And that Pro Wrestling Tee store is my number one priority. And up next, I got to go check out Rampage and get that review up here soon. But I wanted to cover the SmackDown and let you all know what's going on with the changes here. And now, welcome. I welcome all of you to the new era of the New World Podcast, brother. And everyone's still following and subscribing as we go. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. And let's just share our love for professional wrestling and also our hate, because we're weird fans that way. But welcome to the New World Podcast. Like and subscribe. Share it with your grandma. Share it with the bum down at Walmart. I am KMB, the Sexy Ninja. And as always, let's put both two sweet signs up right here, because we're in a new territory, brother. We're in new territory. Put up them two sweet signs. And remember, the New World Podcast is for life, brother.
I'm wondering if Roman's even going to want the Usos in the draft Monday night. Zayn and Owens retain.